Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection. Headline edition will bring you special reports and interviews in a moment.
How you doing? This is the guy from Pittsburgh. And I want to talk about George Noory's guest, John Dvorak. Well, years ago when I took typing, there was the Dvorak system. And I think this guy needs to go back to his typing system because this bum couldn't find an earthquake if he were in a phone booth trapped with Dolly Parton. Because he got on Noory the other night, and he said there's no scientific proof that animals can detect earthquakes. Well, Mr. Dvorak, I've seen it, and I wish I'd had a video camera back 30 years ago when my 6 cats that were staying in a house in Concord, California, 3 doors up from the edge of the Concord BART station, went absolutely crazy 10 minutes before a major quake hit the city. They were running around, meowing like crazy, running through every room in the house as fast as they could. And when the quake hit, the chandeliers were swaying back and forth like this. Cats were jumping up and down on furniture, running around. And they didn't stop for 20 minutes after the quake was over. Now you got all kinds of videos on YouTube from National Geographic, Japanese stations, Discover, CNN, on cats, dogs, and everything else detecting earthquakes and freaking out. Birds flying away, cats, dogs running out of neighborhoods, mammals getting nervous, resting. They got one where they're in the National Zoo in Washington, D.C. I guess you've never seen animals react in the zoo before an earthquake. Excuse me. Dogs bark loudly, act as if they're seeing an unseen enemy. They panic, they bark, they bite owners. Cats get restless, meow, take kittens outside, climb high trees, lay ears back, leave home for days, disappear. Rats disappear, horses stomp, fall to the ground, cows bellow, run away in panic, pigs bite each other, dig under fences, try to climb walls. Deer leave the bush and the forest. Do not fear humans. Run to people. Run aimlessly. Rabbits jump and run around. Sea lions swim in zigzags. Get out of the water. Do not eat food. Dolphins get nervous. Birds stop singing. Flocks fly restlessly. Bats fly in the daytime. Chickens flap their wings. Run in terror. Fly to roost. Cocks crow at midnight. Hens lay no eggs. Ducks avoid earning water. Sparrows flutter in swarms. Figos fly inland. Mew in sky. Stay away from the sea. Parakeets high-pitched chirping. Reptiles come out of hibernation. Crocodiles call and leave the water. Leave cages for the forest. Snakes come out in the open in wintertime, swarm in bamboo clumps. Crabs leave wet habitats and crawl ashore. Fish float in a line in one direction, leap out of the water, and die. Turn upside down as if in turmoil. Deep sea fish appear near surface. Eels crowd on shore and disappear. Ants leave habitats carrying their eggs, swarm inner houses. Bees evacuate hides. Cockroaches swarm. Dragonflies swarm. Earthworks come out of the soil. Flies swarm and rotate themselves. Silkworts have unusual alignment. Plant anomalies before they bloom ahead of season. Potato blooms 2 months ahead of season. Apricot 6 weeks. Early flowering crops. Even the trees and the plants react to earthquakes. Electrical equipment malfunctions before earthquakes. Appliance malfunctions. Car has problem with navigation systems. Clocks stop. Fluorescent lamps dim as if during thunderstorms. Intercoms start buzzing or don't function. Mobile phones start ringing. Radios switch and get loud noises, pulses. Refrigerators have compressor noises. Earthquake lights, yellow skies, short rainbows, haloed sun, elongated red moon. Stars appear close, and all of these appear a day or two before the earthquake. But no, there's no scientific proof when the animals are running like a Crispy Critters commercial, the one and only cereal that comes in the shape of animals. Those things used to run across the screen in the cartoon. But this guy, oh no, there's no scientific proof. And then Jim Berkelund, the guy in San Jose, predicted the Loma Prieta earthquake. He had studies where he studied newspapers for months from San Francisco to Portland to Seattle, Los Angeles to San Diego, dogs, cats, parakeets, monkeys, everything else, every animal you can think of as a pet leaving town. But this bum can't find any proof that animals can detect earthquakes. Well, I've had earthquakes. My cats react to it. I've had cats for 37 years. So he wants the proof. He can hang around the guy from Pittsburgh for a while. And he can see all the proof he wants. We got a lot of cats and dogs in this building too. And I'm sure he could find proof in any apartment in this building the next time there's an earthquake. These scientists say this stuff because if they have anything that doesn't fit in their laboratory, and this guy's from the USGS, and they've ignored Jim Berkelund for years. They treat him like a pariah when he was dead on about Loma Prieta. Because it's not, they can't reproduce in a lab, that means it ain't true. Just like they can't produce a UFO that you see here. They can't reproduce those things that were seen over at O'Hare Airport. Orange lights means seen all over the country right now. Triangular UFOs. They can't reproduce it, so it doesn't exist. That's every one of these scientific bums. The only guy that ever was science that said it was true was J. Allen Hynek and Jack Valet. Every one of these else guys, oh no, you know, what is a flying saucer to land on top of them and squash them like the Wicked Witch of the West? Like the house falling on her? For them to realize these things are happening and that animals can detect earthquakes. And before the tsunami that hit Indonesia that wiped out thousands of people, the animals were leaving town like crazy. And it wasn't because they could climb trees better than humans. Because some of those humans climbed the trees too. I saw videos of them. So don't give me this stuff, John Dvorak, that there's no scientific proof that animals know when an earthquake is coming. They can detect electromagnetic fields. They can detect changes in the magnetic pulse. And we've all got stuff in here, selenium, if I remember correctly, in our foreheads. People get headaches before earthquakes, excruciating migraines. They sense it. I sense it before it rains. It means I can't detect a rainstorm. My knee hurts like hell. And my sinuses start going ape. But I hate when Noory has these people and they make blanket things. Noory's got a dog. He never sees a poor thing because he's too busy to go pet it or feed it. It stays with somebody else. He should give that dog away and admit that he doesn't really have a dog because you don't have a pet that you never see. That's not a pet. I don't know what his thing is with that. And I'm sure in Hawaii, where Noory's going, I'm sure they can detect, the animals there can detect when a volcano's about to erupt or when a tsunami's about to hit, like it did in 48 and in the 1960s, and killed a whole bunch of people. I'm sure those animals went crazy and the birds went flying away. And they had that stuff happen in Alaska and Crescent City, and I'm sure it happened in Rock Ridge, and I'm sure it happened in Loma Prieta. Because Berkelund showed the evidence for it. But all these scientists, they got glasses thicker than mine. And I found about 20 videos and about 10 stories, 10 newspaper articles, and articles from major publications like the National Geographic, showing that these animals sense something before an earthquake. So don't always believe everything you hear on Coast to Coast, because some of these guys, they don't know nothing. And I can't use a word that my dad would use to phrase that has to do with the S word and Shinola. And that makes me really mad to hear these guys come on there, oh, there's no proof for any of this stuff. Because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. All right, this is the guy from Pittsburgh. I'll catch you next time. I'm going to bed, but I just couldn't take it. Listen to this guy. I turned the program off halfway through. I'll listen to the rest of it later. I'm wondering what happens if there's a 7.0 and a cat or a mountain lion or a dog comes and knocks this guy in his butt and he falls into a fissure. If he'll realize then that the animals don't panic before there's an earthquake. And I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.